Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, my Abundance Activators tribe. This is Gagan Sarkaria, your high achievement business coach, with another weekly forecast for this week from July 13th to July 19th, 2025. I want to do something different today because this past week was pretty intense for a lot of people. So I want to start today's forecast with last week's review. So the weekly forecast for last week, which was July 7th to 13th, 2025, was marked by significant planetary influences and a notable full moon in Capricorn that shaped the energies and themes of the period. So, the key events that happened and what influenced your energy. Let's go and review that first and see if you are in sync with the universal powers trying to nudge you, push you, and give you a boost to your career, to your financial goals, and manifestation powers. So, Uranus entered Gemini on July 7th, 2025, initiating a long term transit lasting until 2033. This shift signaled a new era of innovation, disruption, and evolution in communication, thought processes, and technology, even social dynamics. This transit encourages radical changes in how we learn, connect, and relate to information. So if you have been dragging your feet to the new technology and the new time and era, it is your time, it is your signal, it is a realization that you need to be a little bit more technologically savvy and get on this bandwagon called technology and innovation if you really want to grow and create your abundance now. Venus in Gemini aligned with Pluto, retrograde that is happening in Aquarius that started on July 7th, intensifying emotions, desires, and the depth of interpersonal communications. So go back and review what happened this last week. Did you throw a fit? Did you have intense emotions? Were your desires were out of alignment? Or maybe you demanded or seeked more interpersonal communication. What was this alignment doing? It probably brought transformative power to relationships and conversations, possibly uncovering deeper motivations and emotional truths. So maybe people were not being honest with you. Maybe you identified certain behaviors that were not in sync with your values. All of this is what is going to help you move forward and create the success you desire. Now remember, there is a no self-made millionaire. You need your tribe, you need your people, you need your platforms, you need your companies to be authentic and have powerful communications to grow and create success for yourself. The full moon in Capricorn occurred on July 10th, and this full moon offered a grounded emotional reset and a chance to get real about long term goals, structures, and what we are building, both materialistically and emotionally. So maybe somebody showed you the mirror, maybe somebody gave you a reflection, or something happened where you took a pause personally and started looking inwards to see, are you in alignment with the people around you? Are the people really seeing you, noticing you, acknowledging you, or they are just kind of taking advantage of you? So Capricorn's influence emphasized themes of responsibility, accomplishment, and practical assessment of progress, while also highlighting tensions that called for an emotional healing and preparedness for future challenges. So if you are emotionally stronger and ethically clear about your direction, then the action that you put into your work, the hard work that you put into your work, definitely starts to create results and at a very fast pace. Sun in Cancer harmonized with the nodes of destiny on July 11th, offering a karmic turning point that encouraged reflection on life's direction and soul aligned choices. So, this aspect prompted questions about authenticity, about life's purpose. Are you going in the right direction? Are you off track? And potential course correction and changes that are aligned with your inner calling or evolution. And then, last but not the least, what happened last week was also Saturn entering retrograde phase that started on July 13th, will probably be going all the way into November. This retrograde phase invited reassessment of boundaries, responsibilities, your leadership capacities, and accountability. So it was a time last week to be more mature, to commit and refine your approach to personal and professional growth. So maybe somebody stepped into their power position last week to really hold you accountable for your own actions and choices. Maybe you crossed certain boundaries. Maybe you felt that your boundaries were kind of, violated. So you wanted to step into your power and be responsible. Now remember, when it comes to leadership, you have to lead yourself first before you can lead others. So that was kind of an overview of what happened last week. And now let's move to this week's forecast for July 13th to July 19th. So this week, Jupiter's placement in the Ardhra Nakshatra brings a focus on humanitarian pursuits, group projects, and deep transformation through learning and service. So just go back and look, what are you working on this week, or your overall project, or what are you focused on? If that project is more like a community project and you have some service related humanitarian pursuit involved to it, there is learning and development, you are in the right project. You are motivated to make a practical difference and may find yourself involved in a cause or a mission that aligns with your ideals or your future goals. With Jupiter supported by Mercury and Venus until July 26th, your communication and influence reach wider audiences, and even challenging messages will find receptive listeners. So take advantage of this week's planetary alignments where you can have a microphone in your hand and you can show up in the spotlight to influence and inspire the masses. Educational or work-related efforts take on a greater meaning now, especially when tied to a collective purpose or future-oriented vision. So if you can see yourself accomplishing some future goals, creating some results for yourself with your community, you are on the right path. Now keep an eye out for collaborations that are progressive and idealistic, but don't let fear of risk stop you from seizing meaningful opportunities. Guys, you will always have the naysayers. You will always have the energy vampires around you. It is your choice to first identify who they are and then stay clear of them. And 3, make sure that you have your clear boundaries so that they don't start to suck your energy. Now, Saturn begins its retrograde journey in Pisces, prompting you to reflect on the deeper themes of structure, ambition, and spiritual growth. Don't forget, Saturn is the karma planet, but it also loves discipline and structure. And if you work hard, Saturn will be pleased and will give you prosperity beyond your even realization. So this is one of the best times to put in the hard work to create some success for yourself. You may also be required or nudged to reevaluate your long-term goals, your daily routines, and personal development strategies. Because with hard work, sometimes we tend to burn both sides of the candle, and it can be exhausting, even though Saturn loves hard work and discipline, but Saturn also requires you to have an inner reflection and spiritual growth. So for that, you have to create a structure and self-care routine for yourself. So, this is also a period for streamlining your efforts, letting go of unproductive ambitions, and committing to what truly matters. Relationship wise, especially those that connect your personal and professional worlds together, may tend to shift as you seek better balance and responsibilities and emotional fulfillment. So, from July 28th, Mars introduces urgency and pushes you into action. Despite Saturn's slow tempo, this little phase that is going to come at the end of July, it's going to push you forward. So keep your pace, keep moving forward. Expect a sense of inner conflict sometimes between, methodical progress and an external pressure. But if you know your long-term goals and you have patience and discipline and you are calm, you will eventually be rewarded. Let's move on to Mercury. Mercury continues its journey through Cancer alongside the Sun, fostering a strong emotional undertone in how you think, speak, and decide. While this brings creativity, empathy, and intuitive insights, it can also cloud your judgment if you're too reactive. You know how many times I've said that, you need to listen and be patient and calm and not be reactive. But if you happen to be reactive, it's going to kind of maybe will cloud your judgment. So just be mindful of that energy phase. The combination of Sun and Mercury forms a Buddhatya Yoga, which is basically a very powerful mixture of intellect and charisma, ideal for business development, communication, personal expression, which is very important. However, with Mercury retrograde from July 18th, decisions may need second thoughts. So if you are thinking of contracts or agreements, you just might want to look at things differently and review your contracts and written agreements or whatever you're trying to do twice before you sign on the dotted line. Now, reflect before acting, especially in matters involving finances, contracts, or emotional commitments. Seek guidance from your trusted mentors, allies, and advisors. Give yourself some room to revise your reviews and your own understanding as the situation allows. So there should be some wiggle room if you are going to enter into any agreement, or whether it's a verbal agreement or it's a written agreement. An agreement is an agreement, right? You're committing yourself to do something. And if that is going to happen during Mercury retrograde, just be prepared that there has to be some room to grow and reassess things, So if you know what is happening, you'll be better off prepared. With Mercury retrograde in Ashlesha, the tone becomes more introspective and financially focused. You are likely to revisit old purchases, financial plans, reassess your goals or conversations, and the cosmic advice is to wait, review, and refine, and then decide. Mercury's link to psychological insight helps you assess not only the data, but also deeper motivations. Like, why do you want to do a project? Even though at the forefront it might look like, oh my gosh, it's really good and it has a materialistic success, you really want to go deeper and understand why would you like to do that at an emotional level. So Mercury's link to psychological insight helps you assess not only the data, but also deeper motivations, both yours and others. So, when there's a contract between two people, you have to kind of figure out the intentions and the emotions and the expectations of both parties, yours and the other party as well. The new moon on July 24th will signal a fresh opportunity, likely linked to something you have previously shelved, or you probably wanted to do it but didn't have the time, so you just put it on the back burner. So it might give you a second chance to review. Take your time before committing, especially if it involves like a reoffer or a contract revision. As Mercury shifts into a Pusha by July 29th, which is another nakshatra or the constellation, you will gain more clarity and emotional support. So if you have to, look into a contract or get into an agreement, wait till July 29th when there is a little bit of a better phase coming in so that you can actually look at things from a different perspective. You will have more emotional support also. Use this wisdom to finalize decisions after August 11th, when Mercury moves direct, and a clearer path will emerge for you, which will be more prosperous and will bring more manifestation and abundance your way. So, all right, this was a very long audiogram for the weekly forecast. I just wanted to make sure that you can reflect on last week and plan this week ahead properly and see what is coming with Mercury retrograde right around the corner. Mercury retrograde doesn't mean that you pause and halt and stop and not do anything. This is just the planetary energies. If you can align yourself with the cosmic shifts, you can definitely ride the wave. And I am wishing you all the best and abundance and prosperity your way. If you're loving these forecasts and my weekly energy audiograms, or you look at our YouTube channel and look at our live streams, just give us a little shout out, tell us how we're doing. Would love to create more of these for you and continuously serving the community. Until next time, on behalf of William Chua in Singapore and Arman Satyagyan in Armenia, this is Gagan Sarkaria, your High Achievement Business Coach, signing off. Have a fabulous and a productive week ahead. Until next time, have a blessed week. Bye now.